the letter from America, which is no longer in vogue. This is Letter from Olympia, a land where the people have a very strange fetish towards strictly cycling and have the most unusual and interesting characteristics. And this evening we're going to learn a great deal about some of those characters at Olympia Portage. One comes across many unusual and strange creatures. Creatures that seem to travel the world, like the salmon, the pervert of the fish world in the sense that it spends its life in salt water, yet will only breed in fresh water. And we have characters at Olympia that are equally as strange. We have the coffee depositing Morgan, who drinks copious quantities of the beverage and yet can never find where he last placed his cup. In contrast to this rather forgetful characteristic, if you ask this same gentleman who he sold his first bicycle to, he will tell you their weight, height, age, ethnic origin, and exactly what model of which bike he sold.
Trek 930. 1994.
Did you date her?
No. It was a German army guy.
I think one of the most interesting changes that has occurred during the 25 years that I've been around Olympia and the 30-odd years that Olympia has been governed by its absentee landlord are the remarkable changes that have occurred, particularly to the bicycle. When I first started, the 10-speed ruled, and you could buy in the store a 10-speed, and it didn't matter whether it was a $200 10-speed or a $2,000 10-speed, it was still a 10-speed.
I remember the first bike I sold was a Peugeot Sport. Although it could have been a Nishiki.
One of the earliest religions known to man that is still quite common in certain parts of the world is animism. And it's quite interesting to look at Olympia in the light of the animal characteristics of the staff that operate within the store.
If Morgan was an animal in the safari, what would he be?
A gazelle.
If Greg was a safari animal, what kind of animal would he be?
Be a gazelle.
And why?
A gazelle, because he's so calm and graceful.
If Patty was an animal, what kind of animal would he be?
Rabbit. It'd be like the rabbit from Monty Python. He looks so cute and docile until you rub him the wrong way and it's rah!
If Scott was an animal in the safari, what would he be?
He would be sleepy.
One cannot discuss Olympia land without drawing attention to the characteristics of its remarkable absentee landlord.
You know, I like to be different, mostly. And I also like to look at what we've got lots of leftover and use it.
Whose dominant characteristic is a dedication to product testing beyond belief. He's been seen like a mutant ninja turtle, hiking around the city with a pack somewhat larger than himself, probably with 2 or 3 of the staff inside it, in training for Ruck Attack, the winter adventure race. And it is with some trepidation that many of us are wondering just what evolution has in store for us when Lindsayland or Disneyland changes to Scotland. And of course, not many of us have started to appreciate Scotland with one T.
So I've heard that Scott owns a lot of bikes. How many bikes do you figure he owns?
8. that he doesn't ride? About a dozen.
How many bikes does Scott own?
Has he owned?
No, currently.
Currently? 9.
My cross bike is for the cross races. I'm not doing right now. That's my nose bike. And that's my. No, Patrick, you cannot have that pace fork on there. Here's my single speed. There's my winter bike. There's my mom's cruiser frame that I'm redoing. There's my road bike. and my mountain bike. And there's one other bike in the garage.
You've all probably noticed that when one is speaking of our fearless absentee leader, one must say very little. On the other hand, in Scotland,
I fed armies from here and wide, and I have yet to make some cat food for Kiwi in there.
in any benevolent dictatorship along the lines of Olympia, there is often a power behind the throne. Yet there is a significant difference in characteristic between our wonderfully absent-minded landlord and
Slow cooker recipes, because when I'm not sleeping, I'm cookering.
immediate respect is quite noticeable.
I have to go play with the cat now. So the crock pot's probably done. So we'll see y'all later.